Hello everyone, this is William Amzalag. Welcome to our new episode of Jonas Longevity TV. Have you heard about the gut-brain connection? Do you know that our guts is our second brain? Let me tell you an amazing story. In 1908, the Nobel Prize of Medicine was attributed to a Russian biologist, Ilya Mechnikov, for the discovery of a healthy relationship between our bacteria and our longevity. He claimed that there are good and bad bacteria, and that the good ones should be predominant in our body. He also claimed that Bulgarians were living longer because they were eating a lot of yogurt. That was 110 years ago. Today's scientists estimate that 90% of chronic diseases are associated with gut disturbance. Since Pasteur, the medical community has always considered microbes as our enemy, and sometimes they were right. Then they discovered antibiotics and they started to kill our bacteria. They didn't know that we couldn't live without bacteria. Not only they cohabit with us, but they also help the body perform an impressive numbers of functions necessary for its survival. We are 90% bacterial and 10% human. In our gut, there are more than 100,000 billion bacteria weighing more than our brain. Our gut is part of a complex internal ecosystem with microbes that cover the inside and outside of our body and grows everywhere. There are 10 times more microorganisms than human cells. To date, research have identified more than 10,000 different species, and some say that they could exceed 35,000. Every microbe has its own DNA with its own genes. This corresponds to about 8 million genes, much more than our own genes that only have 30,000. These genes are able to generate all kinds of protein essential to our biochemical reaction. This enormous disproportion between the number of genes has led us to the following question. Who is sheltering whom? In other words, what degree of influence do bacteria have on our organism? Are human beings just reservoir for the propagation of microbes, or the opposite? This ecosystem is called microbiome. Micro for small and biome for human body. The microbiota is a collection of microorganisms that live in a specific environment. The body is our microbiome, and the mouth, the throat, the nose, the skin, and all the digestive tract, it's different microbiota. The most important concentration is in our intestines. It is mostly bacteria, but there is also fungi and viruses. What is truly extraordinary is the social organization of this ecosystem and its diversity. There are good and bad bacteria, big and thin, rich and poor, powerful and weak, leaders and sheep. All research show that these microbes participate in a wide variety of vital health responses, such as the functioning of the immune system, detoxification, inflammation reduction, neurotransmitter and vitamin production, nutrient intake, the feeling of hunger and satiety, and the use of sugar and fats. The microbiomes act on our mood, on our libido, and even on our perception of the world and the clarity of our thought. In short, the most recent discoveries have shown that a good microbiome can lead to the reduction of or control of all degenerative or inflammatory conditions. Alteration in this ecosystem are associated with many chronic diseases whose incidence continue to increase. Today, researchers are able to link microbiota alteration to obesity, diabetes, cancer, cardiovascular disease, allergy, anxiety, depression, autism, and even Alzheimer and Parkinson's disease. The nervous system is the most sensitive to change in our microbiota because its vulnerability to chronic inflammation and the action of free radical. The intimate connection between gut and brain is bidirectional. Just as anxiety or fear can lead to stomach pain, the gut can send signals of calm and anxiety to the brain. Serotonin, the happiness molecule, is 85% produced by the nerve cells of the gut, and there are so many neurons in the intestine that we call it the second brain. Each microbiota has its own specificity. For example, unlike gut bacteria, those in the mouth are more oxygen friendly. The oral microbiota is mainly organized in biofilm that adhere to the teeth, the tongue, or inside the cheeks. As a key result, the microbiota of individuals with caries different from that of individuals without caries. Does our microbiota influence our perception of odors and our eating habits? Certainly yes. The skin of an adult is sheltering more than 1,000 billion bacteria, which means 1 million per centimeter square of the skin. On average, more than 500 different species. The skin naturally maintains its own micro ecosystem. Our gut has its own immune system called GALT, gut-associated lymphatic tissue. It alone accounts for 70% of the entire immune system, and this is for a simple reason. The intestinal wall is in direct contact with the outside world. But this wall is very fragile because it's made of a single layer of cells. It is the role of the microbiota to ensure the maintenance of this wall. In the belly of his mother, the baby has a perfectly sterile digestive tract. No bacterium, no virus, no parasite has taken up residence. It is during childbirth that he received the first visit. The first bacteria to encounter are those from the vagina and the perineal region of his mother. Scientists have shown that the microbiota play a crucial role in the maturation of the immune system. Everything begins at birth, during the colonization of the baby's digestive tract by bacteria. Between the microorganism and the young and naive defenses of the newborn, an incessant dialogue is established. The immune system learns to recognize and differentiate the bacteria and food protein to tolerate those to fight. But it's also learned to graduate its reaction. It is thanks to this intensive training that we reach a good balance between the different immune response. When a newborn is born prematurely, he is necessarily separated from his mother for reason of care. This maternal separation and prematurity are responsible for dysbiosis and increase the risk of developing psychiatric illnesses. It has been recently established that coming into the world by cesarean rather than natural way could result in change of the newborn intestinal flora. These changes could have more or less significant impact on his health through the life. The two main groups of bacteria in our guts microbiota are firmicutes and bacteroids, which account for 90% of the intestinal population. The proportion of these two groups determines the level of inflammation and has a direct influence on obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. In general, we know that when there are more firmicutes, there will be more inflammation and therefore more obesity. In summary, the microbiome, 1. Participate in digestion and absorption of nutrient. 2. Form a protective physical barrier against potential invader, such as harmful bacteria, viruses, and harmful parasites. 3. Plays a role in detoxification by neutralizing a lot of toxin in our diet and thus facilitates the liver function. 4. Influence the immune system and shape the immune system, including teaching it to recognize our own tissue. 5. Produce and release enzyme, vitamins, and neurotransmitter. 6. Help manage stress by intervening on the endocrine system. 7. Help to sleep very well. 8. Helps to control inflammation and thereby influence mental illness, cancer, asthma, allergy, metabolic condition such as diabetic and autoimmune disease. In our next episode, we will review the roles of pro and prebiotics. My name is William Amzalag and I am Generation Young. See you at our next episode. Bye-bye.